Celebrating 20 years, the Enactus World Cup. Welcome to the Enactus World Cup 2021. This year, so many Enactus countries around the world placed a spotlight on early stage projects. This is where that action begins, the startup energy, the team building, and where the ideas just start to flow. Early stage sparks that aha moment. It drives open source innovation and that perfect opportunity for collaboration. So welcome to the NextGen Experience Early Stage Projects. Now, two very awesome Enactus alumni will join me in just a moment. But before we step up to the early stage, I want to introduce you to a leader and a company who supports literally every stage in life. Please meet Harry Vassilaris from AIG.
Hi everyone, my name is Harry Vassilaris. I'm a senior underwriter in the financial institutions team at AIG UK. I am an Enactus alumni. I went to Enactus City University in London, where I was the vice president for the social enterprises for a number of years. Probably the most noteworthy successful project we had was a hydroponics village that we were working with in Brazil. But our projects varied from the large international scale to helping our local pubs in the local community. So big variety of experience there. As you probably know, AIG is a long-term sponsor of Enactus, both internationally and across multiple countries, including the UK. So I've been managing the relationship for about 5 years in London. And we're a big sponsor because we absolutely love what Enactus is all about. We absolutely get inspired by you guys as students. We get really, lots and lots out of it ourselves, and we love to help where we can. In terms of today, I kind of wanted to talk on 2 points. The first one is, how Enactus set me up for success at work, but also as new teams, I kind of wanted to give you my go-to advice for anyone that's kickstarting their Enactus career. So if I start off by kind of giving a bit more about how I felt like Enactus prepared me, one thing that you will probably already realize and you'll see throughout your career at Enactus is, it teaches you to think differently, it teaches you to think creatively, and it teaches you to embrace other people's thought process. These are significant and interchangeable skills no matter what career you look at. All businesses need innovation, and that is fundamentally at the key to Enactus. Enactus challenges students because not only is it around, helping individuals, but it's all around the sustainability and innovation. And that is significant for any business as well. So to me, that has been a real benefit for me around to be able to think differently, to embrace thought processes, and to really apply that to my day-to-day job. It also, I guess, one of the biggest things about Enactus is the compassion. It's the ability to understand the issues at play, but it's also understand the needs and wants. You can easily transfer that, as how I often look at it, around the stakeholders you deal with on a day-to-day basis. So understanding individuals' needs and wants from a business sense allows you to tailor and create solutions for them. So to me, that has been hugely beneficial in preparing me for my career at AIG. And the other thing I guess is really important, and being in the financial institutions world, I see it every single day, is the significance of ESG. This is constantly growing. It's in the press all the time, and it's becoming more and more of an issue as we see, unfortunately, that the challenges that our environment and our social issues that we see play out day in, day out. So what Enactus does is Enactus is preparing you for one of the most important challenges our generation is facing, and that's no small feat. So I'd like to give you a few key points that I would stress as new teams, as ambitious teams looking to create their own projects. I've dealt with a lot of teams that are newly established, and I've seen the themes of the success, but also the points that some of them haven't been able to implement. Point number one would be you have to learn the Enactus criteria. It is a long sentence. It's quite it's got full of different elements to it. It's quite nuanced. But fundamentally, that's what makes Enactus. That's the heartbeat behind Enactus, and that's what differentiates Enactus from working in a charity, for instance. As you progress with your project, you'll see that it will take lots of turns. It will move in different directions, and it will look very different to your first idea. fundamentally, with every direction that you turn, you need to consider whether it applies to that criteria. You may begin to get a bit frustrated with the criteria. You may think, well, this is a great idea, but it doesn't fit the criteria. The criteria is built in a way to make sure that you think differently, to kind of push you to make sure that the innovation and sustainability is key, because that's what would actually be successful in the real world. So they learn from the success of others. The great projects or the great innovations in the world are normally replicates of other ideas. So, look around you, look and see what students have done, and build on that success. See if there's something that was beneficial to a certain community, and see if you pivot slightly, whether that will benefit your community. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You can just slightly design it differently. And I guess the biggest point that I would always stress, and sometimes the biggest place where teams fail, is utilize your network. You will be allocated advisors or mentors across your team, be it for the team leadership or be it for specific projects. You also have an amazing network in Enactus. Utilize them. And this is the opportunity. You build your own network and you build the network for your Enactus team. So that's my key advice. Happy if you guys want to reach out. You've got my name there to add me on LinkedIn. Happy to assist further, and good luck with the rest of the World Cup and your careers of Enactus.
Thank you so much, Harry, and thank you, AIG, and Lexbout, thank you so much for your continued support of Enactus. Now, there's one student who became an Enactus staff, then a Super Enactus alum, and a donor who has not only been to all 20 of the SIFE Enactus World Cups, he has also helped create many of them. Now, he's joined by another former SIFE Enactus student, a remarkable alum, and someone who's dedicated her life to helping many great causes, including Enactus. They're not only superhumans, they are super friends. Does this sound like too much? Well, it's not. Trust me. It's just right. They're both here in Studio 78 to add some thoughts and coaching for the Enactus early stage projects. So I want to welcome and introduce you to Jared Boyd and Zora Zoro. Hi, guys. Welcome.
Hi.
Good to see you.
It's
good to be here.
I know. I saw you seconds ago, but it's good to see you again.
Good to see you from over there.
It's all good. You both, just thank you so much for being here. A little bit about your backgrounds, and then we'll get right into this early stage.
Yeah. I was had the privilege of being part of an Enactus program when I was at university, and then moved over to work for World Headquarters for a number of years. And after 20 years hanging out doing that and working on some World Cups, I decided I'd move on, and now I'm working on a new project in New Zealand.
And you do a lot of support of Enactus, Jared, year after year after year. So really, congratulations, and thank you for being here for this 20-year anniversary. I don't think we could do it without you or without you, Z.
Thank you. Glad to be here. And I guess a little bit about me as well. Jared, your journey really resonates with mine. I was also a student who was involved with Enactus. I became fascinated by the projects that my team was doing. And as a result of it, I absolutely fell in love with the organization itself. And I wanted nothing more than to work for and serve the Enactus network. And so I did. So I was fortunate enough to work for a little over 8 years for both the United States and also at a global level, helping to develop and to support Enactus's country operations around the globe. And as a result of that, I learned quite a lot of valuable lessons about passion on purpose through the thousands of students, academic and business leaders, as well as Enactus staff around the world. Hello to Enactus staff and colleagues that I know and love so much. So today, although I couldn't have imagined nearly 20 years ago, and I know I'm aging myself, that I would have been here today, yet again, involved on a virtual stage with Enactus, there's actually nowhere else I would rather be. I'm really humbled to be here and to be serving in this capacity. So
well, I'm going to take you both back 20 years, all right? Going to take you way back to the early stage. You both had different journeys as SIFE students. This is the early stage, so take us back to that moment, that genesis, the beginning of like this thing called SIFE at the time. What was going through your mind, and how did you assimilate into the system?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I don't know if I was fully aware of what I was getting myself into. I was following my heart, and I was also being strategic. I saw all these corporate logos affiliated with the organization and was eager to network and see how my career would unfold after graduating from the university. But I also wanted to make a difference in the world, so I think I just trusted the process and let my heart lead the way.
Nice.
So, what about you, Jared?
Yeah, so my journey actually began by my professor, who was the advisor of the team, saying, you need to show up at this meeting. And I had no idea what it was. I was a freshman. I had no idea where I was going. And he said, you need to be there. So I showed up and just obviously got sucked into it because it was 25 years of my life, right? So.
I know that's happened to a lot of Enactus students. You kind of show up and like, wait, what is this thing?
Yeah.
And then as you go step by step, you learn how amazing, how impactful, how important, and how it reshapes your life. Now today, we've prepared for you 6 early stage projects for you to look at. We curated it down to about 22. They're really amazing from all over the world, from Russia to the UK to one really close by, Appalachian State. It's amazing. And if anybody wants to see any of these projects, you can see all 22 right here at the EWC app. So as we take you into the 6, I want to, before we look at them, I'd love to get from both of you, what's your general advice? And I know you've given a lot of advice to students at that early stage, but what's your top line general advice?
Yeah, I think what I tend to always share is a validated fact that about 90% of startups fail, and they fail for a variety of reasons. It has to do with either the lack of funding or sustainable funding. It has to do with being in the wrong market or having a mismatch of goals by the team that's actually running the organization or the company. So my general advice would be the opposite of all of that. Do appropriate market research, make sure you're in the right market, make sure you have appropriate funding or sustainable enough funding to give you room to play and to experiment. And then more importantly, have the right people at the table to help you along the way in your journey to starting up. What about you, Jared?
Yeah, I think probably the key thing is to decide if you're going to focus on something that you're really passionate about. So if you have an idea of something that can make a difference, but it's not yet in the marketplace, or if you want to journey out and see what's needed, and then you want to bring a solution to that, but know which way you're going. Are you going to start something that hasn't been there? Or are you going to look out there and find something that needs to be done right, and then follow it? Don't worry about, come up with the plan, do the research, but you're not going to have all the answers. Just get out there and start working on it. And don't, I know we talk a lot in Enactus about measuring impact, and it's important, but don't let it be the thing that clouds everything else you go to do. Just go do it. Create action. Get it out there and get it started.
Nice. I find that talking to a lot of students, they sometimes just get caught in that problem solution thinking, problem, but they're not really passionate about the problem or the solution. So your thought about applying that passion really counts. And what I take from you is that ability to listen to the marketplace, listen to each other, make sure we've got a really great way to communicate with each other. Because sometimes students just don't show up to the meeting after a while and they fall off. And I know it happens quite a bit. So, all right, let's get started. We've got 6 to show everybody today. You're gonna love this. And please check it out at the EWC app. There's 22 teams, really worth checking out. The first one I want to share with you, and I'm going to leave you guys on your own, is Tunisia. Now, great country leader, Kaula, I had a chance to visit with the team just before COVID, and passion. Their heart's in the right place. So take a look at these 77 seconds, and I leave it to you and to you.
Great, thank you.
Great.
172,000 farmers are suffering from the lack of aminotrade, a chemical fertilizer that is used to increase the production of the harvest, which led to 60% of the total national production to go to waste. Our solution is NitroFound, an organic fertilizer tested and scientifically proven, rich in viral elements that increase plant productivity and its development. Composed of manure, green waste, and olive oil waste, our product is 100% environmentally friendly and 46% cheaper than the amino trade. With the production of 37 tons, we participated in saving our planet by decreasing the ozone layer damage caused by methane derived from manure and valorizing the olive oil waste rich in nitrogen by including it in our product. Satisfying the needs of 193 farmers in its first year, NitroFound managed to impact 2,382 people in the rural regions of Tunisia. As our soil is the fount of our living, NitroFound is the cure.
That's fantastic. I love this 77-second platform that allows us to be able to just see so much about the project and get into it. So we have a couple of students that are with us from the team. Can you guys say hello and introduce yourselves?
Hi, so this is Mariam Benjima,
And this is Sarah Mimli.
and we are representing Enactus from Tunisia.
Great. Well, thanks for being with us. We just wanted to visit with you a little bit about the incredible project that you guys have created and where you're at in the process and how it's all going.
Yeah.
So Z, you want to?
Yeah, first of all, I wanted to share some compliments. I love the way that you really told your story in a really compelling way. I think it's important to use statistics on the front end that helps to support what the problem is, and then statistics on the back end on who's involved in how you're making impact, and along the way actually demonstrating through your video and your pitch the people that are impacted. In terms of opportunities, do you have questions or opportunities for them?
Yeah, I think I also loved your visuals. Just a really great way to be able to bring us in and show us what you're working on. So I'm curious, what is in the nitro font? I didn't really understand that from the video. So what's actually in the product?
Our product is composed 70% of manure and 30% of green waste, with a little bit of olive oil waste, which is the ingredient that is our innovative touch in this product, and that comes with nitrogen, the most important element in our in NitroFound.
Very cool.
Yeah, and can you talk a little bit more about who your partners are on the ground for creating the product and then also distribution? Is it your team specifically, or is it partnership with a network of other stakeholders?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so we are working as a team, of course, but we are also working with housewives who are breeding cows. So we deal with these women who are in charge of collecting the animal waste and selling it from all around the country. And for the olive oil waste, we can find it generally nearby olive squeezers. So since there is a yearly production of olives and extraction of olive oil yearly, we don't have really a problem with this sustainable source of provision with the manure. So yeah, we are working actually with different actors, like I said. So
Nice. Well, you guys, I think this is a really good beginning that you've got. As you look to tell your story a bit more, I think Zora and I maybe want to encourage you to continue to work to explain what's in the product. Like, how is it different from other things? Why is it a better solution than what's already in the marketplace? And I look forward to hearing a little bit more in the future about how you actually came up with the idea, and then how many people you're able to reach with that. So we only have about 20 seconds left, but we just really wanted to be able to say thank you so much for all the action that you're doing, and you're making a huge difference in the world, and we just want to encourage you to keep getting out there and doing it.
Thanks.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Miriam. Thank you,
So
Sarah.
great to see you guys.
See you.
Okay, and we want to go ahead and move on to the next video, which is from Monsasha, I'm sure I said that wrong, University in Australia.
As of 2021, textiles have moved to number 1 on the Australian waste priority list. This is because we have some bad habits. We consume the second most textiles in the world, and 85% of this goes to landfill. Introducing Monash Textiles. Our first sprint was spent on research to benefit our technical understanding of the issue. From this, our initial aim was to extend the life cycle of textiles through recycling and upcycling, but we quickly realized that none of them created a truly circular outcome. To create circularity, we have to be able to use end-life textiles as raw inputs. With this new aim to create circular change, we needed to talk to the experts. We set out on our second sprint to interview 100 key stakeholders. We have now reached more than 70 of these stakeholders, ranging from charity shop executives to government representatives and more. These engagements informed our understanding of the hurdles towards achieving circularity, such as transportation, contamination, and more. So what's next? Armed with a comprehensive understanding of the industry, we carry great momentum into our design phase. Our prospective solutions include establishing a microfactory with industry partners, commercializing intellectual property, and instituting council-wide bin tagging.
This is another great video, thanks. Sorry, the fun of doing live stuff, I'm sorry if some of you couldn't hear us quite as well in the last one, so hopefully we got that worked out. But we've got two great students with us from the team in Australia, so I want to go ahead and have you guys introduce yourselves.
Hey both, I think my partner here is disconnected, so I'll be leading the charge a little bit, but my name's Jesse and it's nice to meet you both, and yeah, I'm representing Monash from Australia.
Fantastic, thanks Jesse, we're excited to have you with us. So, Zora, what do you want to ask Jesse about the project?
I feel like, what is that show that Simon Cowell's on? So I'm always the positive one. I really love, and you are too, I really love the volume of research that's pretty evident through your presentation.
Yeah.
I think that's really, really great. I guess a question that I have for you is, in terms of your product, you mentioned what you will be creating at a next stage is a microfactory. What is a microfactory? I'd love to learn a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so a microfactory is one of our prospective solutions, and what it is, it'll be a sort of small scale to begin with product or sort of solution and method that will be able to take textiles as an input and be able to convert them into some valorized end product. So there's a couple of different examples. They're a bit too techy to maybe go into in the short time, but some of them will take, textile waste and turn them into brick or road paving, or a lot of these great solutions that we're currently looking into with researchers sort of domestically. So that's one potential route that we're looking into.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do all those kinds of things, so we look forward to learning more about what you guys decide to do with the end product as you continue to tell your story. Maybe for those of us that are thinking about the beginning of projects, how did this idea even come to you?
Yeah, certainly. That's a great point. I think the biggest thing that sparked our interest is it's sort of as plastic was maybe 20 years ago. It's something that's just popping up on the agenda, and it's something we're looking to get into very early. So what sparked our interest initially in the space was the fact that it's number 2 on our government's priority list. So that's sort of the biggest indicator that, look, this is something huge that moving forward is going to have a really big impact on our environment, along with a lot of the sort of trade and export regulations that are coming in that are stopping exporting, which means that it's all ending up on our front yard, and we really have to deal with it firsthand now.
That's fantastic. So it's a really cool example of looking out there, seeing a need, and then working to come up with the solution for that need. So maybe not something that you guys already knew what you were going to do, but you saw this is important. We're going to try and find a way to address it.
Yeah, and I would probably add in there in terms of moving forward, Jared and I are really excited about seeing proof of concept as a follow-up, but also I would be curious to know how you will add to your pitch moving forward, how this project addresses SDGs. How are you making the world a better place, and how is your product or your service aligning with that? And then I had another thought, but it just escaped my mind. But who you would be partnering with and how you would be network building around this. Public-private partnerships, for example, are essential, and it's really the way forward to actually building movements. And I think with your product at the center of this, and you knowing that the government is also prioritizing this issue area, I think it can really help your team go very far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great, Zora. Well, listen, we're out of time, but we want to thank you again for being with us, and thanks for sharing the project.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Yeah, have a great day. Okay, we're going to move on and see another fantastic project. So let's look at this video from France.
Worms that can eat plastic. You don't believe me? Look at that. I'm Vincent Hurtel, and here is my project, Worm Generation. Worm Generation want to offer a plastic treatment service. In our farm, millions of mealworms will eat tons of plastic and food byproducts. We want them to transform the mealworms into ecological high-protein food for animals and their manures into natural rich fertilizer. And without plastic bioaccumulation. Our first plastic biodegradation farm will be operational in 2024, after 2 years of research and development. And I'm now working on our first mealworm farm installation. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn. And thank you very much.
Fantastic. What a great other example. We have a student here with us from France. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello everybody, thank you very much. So yes, I'm Vincent Hurtel from France, from Eastern France.
Bonjour, and thank you for being with us today. I thought such a cool project. I never even knew that you could use worms to eat plastic, so I love hearing about these new things, these new technologies that are out there. Can you tell us a little bit about how you even came up with this? Like, is it something that you knew about? Is it something you heard about? Just how did you even come up with the idea?
The first time I knew it was possible, it was when I was fishing, because I raised these mealworms to use them at fishing. And it's at this time that I saw the Stanford University that have shown this ability.
Wow, that's so cool.
And I think it is really cool. I would love to be one of your initial clients and customers once you develop the product, but I'm curious to know, when you mentioned 2 years of R&D, what that actually entailed. Did it include interviews? Did it include a lot of reading and research? So can you unpack that a little bit for us as well?
Yeah, great question.
Yes, so I planned 2 years, but could be more or less. Just that we need to really prove for each type of plastic that there is no danger for the mealworms, and after to use the mealworms as a natural and rich protein food for animals.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, you're on the beginning of a journey that has so much potential, right? I mean, just the opportunity to be able to create this new thing and then go out there and prove that it's going to work. I love that you're planning to take the time that's needed to actually analyze the process and make sure that you're not actually causing harm to the environment or to the worms that you're going to use. It shows so much dedication and passion and concern for what's really the end product that you're working to do. So that's awesome. I mean, way to take that approach.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I think I shared in terms of my general advice was that it takes a team, and a good team. So I'd be curious to hear a little bit from you on what your team dynamics and your level of enthusiasm and passion around this project is. Is it you and a couple of folks on your team that are looking to launch this, or is it really a team movement?
Team is now like I'm the one who cares to all the projects, but I have a lot of organizations that support me and partners that make me a real good environment and like really support me to each step of the project. I really thank Enactus for that. Although I have 2 incubators and different operational partnership that really can bring this project into the reality.
That's great. Well, I love hearing that because I do think your team of advisors and your network is going to be really critical to helping you be successful in that. So it is truly a great idea, and congratulations. I think there's something else Jared and I thought about when we initially heard about your project. We were thinking how connected you might be to other Enactus teams and other projects. For example, earlier when we heard the Australia project, we were thinking, hey, are you in France having conversations with the Enactus team in Australia that just presented on this great project that they were doing, and is there some synergy there? So a recommendation of sorts.
Yeah, and unfortunately we can't hear back from you because we're out of time. But thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And now we're going to head on and hear another great video, this time from Brazil. Let's see it.
While home means to you a comfort place to live, many people would say that's just a way to survive. The extreme heat inside their houses is a daily problem that those people face. Domus is changing this. First, we reuse carton packs that lack recycling. After cutting and sanitizing them, we aim to empower people in social vulnerability to produce a low-cost thermal coating that can reduce the temperature between the roof tile and our product up to 19 degrees Celsius, providing a more thermally pleasant environment for the families. And that's not all. Our system reduces the emission of carbon dioxide by the reuse of these carton packs. Among the difficulties of the COVID-19 pandemic, 10 families have already received our coating in their homes. Last year, we won the CDG 11 Award for Sustainable Cities and Communities. And that's our reason, our motivation, bringing comfort to families in need while spreading awareness on sustainable development.
Oh, that was so cool. I'm excited that we have a couple of students with us from Brazil. So can you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Okay, nice to meet you all. My name is Carlos. I am 20 years old.
Hi,
All right.
I'm Gustavo. I'm 21 years old and we're representing Campo São Carlos from Brazil.
Fantastic. Well, Carlos
Gustavo,
and Gustavo, thanks for joining us live. We're excited to have you here with us and to be able to talk to you a little bit about your project. So I'll tell you one thing I loved is that you highlighted the SDGs within your video that you're able to be addressing. I think it's a really great way for us to have kind of a common language that the whole world can understand when we go and show those SDGs and where we're making a difference on them. So I thought just off the top, that was super cool.
It was super cool too, and I think this is one of the first videos we've seen where you also offer closed captioning and subtitles, and I think that's really important. And this is more on the lighter side of things, but I think paying attention to details is important. You know, our audiences are vastly different, and I think it's important also to really make sure that the concept that you're sharing is not only being heard, but also being understood through that. So I want to thank you for that. I kind of have what might be a big question or an idea. So I love this cell phone app idea.
Yeah.
Have you thought about gamification as part of the user experience?
Actually, we didn't think about gamification because our product really needs some donations. We do a little marketing through Instagram, but our final user is people in vulnerable positions, so they wouldn't have too much access for this.
Yeah, I think it's a cool thought though, Zora, and as you try to get people excited about going out and collecting the trash, finding ways to be able to motivate them by making it a challenge. So who can do the most? How can we get them out there really using it and motivating them to want to be excited about it? So I thought that was cool. There's one other thing that popped in my mind that I just wanted to challenge you guys with, and I don't know how you really address it, but we see in your video how important it is for us to be picking up the plastic and you know, getting out there and collecting garbage. But then we're using plastic bags to pick up plastic garbage, right? So is there a solution that you might be able to bring into this that would use something other than plastic to collect plastic? I just think it'd be a cool thing to think about as you move forward with the project.
Yeah,
Actually,
we are trying a new thing with our collecting points. We are trying to develop a collecting point made of sustainable materials too, like reused ones. So we are excited with this too. Through the next, I think in the next week we will have this already installed in our collecting points. So it's a great idea, and thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. You might also think about reaching out to the team in Australia, and maybe you could repurpose some of that.
That's right.
That material that they're collecting to make canvas bags. That you know, maybe you could collect trash in canvas bags, and that way you're upcycling old clothing or you know, materials and making bags out of them that you can collect the trash in. So. Hey guys, we gotta go, but thank you so much for joining us, and really great project. Keep up the great work.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Okay, we're gonna head on to our next video, and this one's gonna be from the United Kingdom.
Ecologico is a social enterprise striving to reduce methane emissions in livestock by implementing a seaweed supplement into their existing diet. We aim to create a financially viable supplement so that we can make a positive environmental difference for all future generations. Since Nationals, we have been working extremely hard in order to progress with our project. We have had a number of positive calls with the company and are preparing to receive a batch of seaweed this coming October in order to test it in a laboratory for its potential to reduce methane emissions.
Ford, a company partner of Enactus UK, we've received the funds to take action on the next steps of our business plan, becoming one step closer to creating the low methane products we are striving for. Media pages, we strive to educate consumers on making more sustainable and environmentally friendly lifestyle choices. This is proven by the incredibly positive impact we've seen from consumers using our methane calculator and engaging in our meat-free Monday recipes. This is only the beginning. Our project will continue to make an impact as we progress and become closer to our final goal of making the agricultural industry more sustainable.
Awesome. What a great video. What a great example of how you can use 77 seconds to cram in so much information. So,
productive.
Yeah, we have a couple of students here with us from the UK. So can you guys introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Poppy. I'm Izati. And we're from Enactus Nottingham, representing the United Kingdom.
Oh, fantastic. We're so excited to have you guys live with us this morning. So thanks for taking the time. How did, I love this question, so I'm just going to go to it again. How did you guys come up with this idea?
Yeah, so Enactus UK came to Enactus Nottingham with the idea that you could use a supplement to increase the sustainability of the agriculture industry. And they came to us because we have a farm on campus. So they gave the idea to us, and then so Izati and I came on board last September, and we started researching the different types of supplements we could use. And then we finalized that we wanted to use seaweed to feed to ruminants. And then we continued on that, and now we're looking at native seaweeds to use.
That's cool. Amazing. And that's an interesting example of the dynamics of just really working with what you have on your physical premises. What I'm curious about, a question we haven't yet asked any of the teams is, how have you as a team evolved or grown throughout this experience of working on this project?
Yeah, so this project isn't that old. It's only been around for about a year. And at first, when we started, none of us had any idea about seaweed. We all come from different backgrounds. So I'm studying finance and accounting, Poppy's doing environmental science, but we sort of came together and like, okay, well, we're gonna do our own research. We're gonna look into it. There's so much information available out there. Nothing is gonna stop us. And I think as a project, we've come really far. We've made a lot of developments. We're looking into testing our seaweed soon. We've launched our methane calculator and our sponsor account program, which has helped raise funds for our business and made people more aware on their methane emissions and given a way for people to offset their methane footprint. So I started off as a finance director in the project, and then a few months ago, I joined Poppy as co-team leader. So within the project itself, there's definitely opportunity for professional development, which is one of the things that we love about Enactus.
Well,
That's
a lot
awesome.
to accomplish in a
Yeah.
short period of time.
Wow.
So that's amazing. Congratulations.
I also love, I mean, such a true characteristic of an Enactus student. We're just going to do it. Nothing's going to stop us. We're just going to
Yes.
get in there and figure it out. It's so perfect, right? I mean, it's just the way it always is.
It is.
Nothing's
I love
going to
it.
stop us.
Definitely a
we
learning
have a
process.
minute left. Tell me, what's the biggest challenge you've faced?
Yeah, I think when we were originally looking into seaweed, we were looking that there were different seaweeds abroad that had the highest methane reduction potential. But then when we were looking into it more, we realized that by shipping this seaweed over, we'd negate any emissions we would reduce by obviously transferring it to us. So then we changed our idea. We completely changed the business model, decided that we wanted to take it right from the beginning and work all the way through ourselves. And so now we've been looking into native seaweeds, and it's only when we've been doing that we found a partner to work with and that we found some native seaweeds to test in the laboratory.
That is so cool. We've got 30 seconds, so we're going to wrap up. But I love that you guys were able to look at your original solution, say, actually, we're not going to create a benefit in the end if we do that, and then pivot and come up with a whole other idea that still fit within what you were doing. I love it.
Iterative.
So brilliant.
That's how it should be.
Listen, we're out of time, but you guys, you're on the right track. Thanks for sharing this early example with us, and we look forward to hearing more about it.
Yep. And I think we've got
Thank
one more.
you.
team.
Yeah, let's do it. We're going to watch a video now from Italy.
We use cards in our daily lives, but most of them are made of PVC. A single card might not sound like a lot of plastic, but globally, every year almost 31 billions of cards are produced. In Italy, each one of us owns a medium of 2.5 PVC cards, which are only used once or twice and then thrown away, increasing the existing amount of plastic waste. I bet you couldn't tell the problem was so huge. What if there was a more natural, organic alternative to plastic? Well, there is, and we do have it. Its name is wood card, and it's a card made of an innovative material derived from wood and completely biodegradable. Created by the National Research Center, our partner, this material is better for the environment than PVC, recycled plastic, and bioplastic. Moreover, by switching from plastic to wood, we would save up to 20 tons of CO2 per year. It would be like having 10,000 fewer cars on the road for 1 year. We can imagine a world where wood card would replace any plastic cards, from workers' badges to hotel keys. And you, can you?
Let's do it. I am ready for wood cards.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. That's awesome. We have a student joining us here from Italy, so let's let you introduce yourself.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Alessia, and I represent the Enactus Trento team from Italy.
Bella.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, we gotta get into this because I'm so fascinated. I want wood cards. I'm just going to ask the question again. I know I ask it 3 times in a row. How did you come up with this? I mean, how did you come up with the idea?
Well, there were actually 2 problems that we were facing. And one was the issue of plastic. We all know about this incredible problem. And then we had a big storm that I don't know if you heard about it in 2018. We had Storm Vaya that knocked down many, many trees, so we had a lot of woods. And our aim is to reuse this wood to make something environmental friendly. So we started from there.
That's awesome.
That's great. You know what I would love to hear about also is, I'll frame it as failure, but let's assume that it's a corrected opportunity. Is there something that you envisioned going a certain way, but it turned out to be different from your original view?
That's great.
Especially the use of wood, I think, because at the beginning we really want to use this type of wood, but then we discovered that wood is an incredibly complicated material to use. So with the partnership of CNR, we were able to test first prototypes, which are not we are not using that particular wood, but our final aim would be to use wood from Via Storm. So we're still working on it, and also the technology to put in it is still a challenge, but we're working on it and cooperating with the University of Trento laboratories too.
Sounds complex but exciting.
Yeah, right? It's probably just went past me, but no, I love it. Have you guys come up with a timeline yet for when you're shooting to be able to have your first product actually out there?
Well, we would love, we are going to join a program, a startup program, an accelerator to develop more our business idea. And we would love to have our first prototype by next spring. So yeah, early next year would be ideal. And our first prototype with technology, because now we have a first product, but without technology. So yeah.
So we only have a minute left, but I'm really curious because this project is probably going to go beyond your time at university. So have you already thought about how you're going to hand off this idea for the future to see it carry on?
Right?
Well, at the moment we are recruiting new students for the Enactus team. So we would love to really develop this project more with new students, who are starting their career at university now. And then we're still considering how to go on, but yeah, with the Enactus team for the moment.
I love it. I love it. We're out of time, so thank you for coming in, but I do want to end by saying, I love that you are showing us that you've got something that you're in a starting point. You haven't figured it all out yet, but this is such a great way to put it out there.
That's right.
Let people see that you are going to go after the solution. I want to encourage you, keep going for it. I look forward to the day that we're using wood cards instead of the plastic ones. So thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to thank all of you for really being able to demonstrate your passion on purpose, and especially to be able to share these early age projects. They're early stage, excuse me. They're not there yet, but that's okay. The Enactus National Events and Enactus World Cup 2022 is already... Should just give up on the teleprompter today. It's dedicating time to feature more early stage teams. And that's a great way for us to be able to get the messages out there. Early stage, if your team would like to connect and to support and collaborate, we want to encourage you to go to the Teams page on our platform and learn more about it and see how you can engage. On that platform, you can reach out to other Enactus teams and country leaders to learn more about their projects and how you can come together. Man, Zora, it's been such a great honor to be with you today.
It's my pleasure.
You've been an amazing supporter of Enactus, and on behalf of the entire Enactus network, it's our pleasure to do something special for you today and be able to recognize you for all the good work that you've done throughout all of your years involved with Enactus and now as an alumni. So you've been a student for more than 19 years or an alum, and 8 of those years you hung out with us at the World Headquarters and did some incredible things for the communities and have supported so many people around the world in your time. You were the vice president of networks of Candid now, and really continuing to do such freaking amazing things out there in the world. So Zora, it's my pleasure on behalf of Enactus to be able to present you with this cool award, the Champion of Enactus. We love you so much.
Love you.
All right, come on, we got a trophy here for you.
Thank
so
you so
that's going to be
much.
yours, but now we're going to take it away from you. So
Or maybe it could become a wood
in true
trophy.
Enactus,
but-
we should totally do
Let's
wood
do
It should be a
this.
wooden trophy.
This is
Give
well
her the-
There we
deserved.
go.
Zora, so many people in the network, they love you.
Thank
You've
you.
supported us so deeply. You are in the true spirit of an Enactus alum. And thank you for all you do and you continue to do. And Jared, same for you too. Thank you kindly for everything.
no, it's been such a pleasure. Love you so much, Dave.
Yeah, it's been pretty incredible. I think one of the best decisions I've made in my life, probably top two, is becoming involved with Enactus in the first place. I'm constantly growing and learning, and I'm always here as a supporter and advocate of this organization. And I share this award with all of the students, academic and business leaders, and my Enactus colleagues around the globe that I know and love so much. And so this is for all of you. Thank you for making my life better in so many different ways. And thank you, Jared. And thank you, Terry, for this honor. Thank you.
Well deserved.
Yeah, Z, thanks so much. You're loved and you're appreciated. And the award doesn't say how much we appreciate all that you do,
I
but
appreciate
just a little something small. So, okay, still ahead today is the World Race, and you won't want to miss that. So the race is focused on Sustainable Development Goal 14, Life Below Water. Join us for this deep dive into the One Race for Oceans next. On behalf of Zora, Terry, and myself, and the entire Enactus alumni network around the world, from Studio 78, thanks for checking out the early stage at Enactus World Cup 2021.